I'm having a great day. And so today, I want us, the three of you guys specifically, to talk about the world of dating and what it takes to
Mm,
get married. And so I'm so glad it's the two of you guys, because y'all are kind of like our dating specialists in the practice of taking, and for so many reasons. Jessica led the premarital class for years, and she's a dating coach. Taj, you're a dating coach from date to marriage thing. And so, what would you tell people? First of all, it seems like for just from my perspective, and this might be a little jaded today. So
how
I'll
you say
give
it.
that. From my perspective, it seems like men don't want to be in committed relationships. They don't want to get married, and women do. And so that's feeling very unfair. And so, and if it's not that, it seems to be that men are looking for this elusive, maybe like perfect woman or something. Um, and so, and I know, of course, that could be, I'm feeling a little, like skewed and jaded today. And so, would you guys speak to that for all the other people who are feeling like me, or what you guys know to be different?
Jessica, you want
Yeah,
to go first?
sure. Yeah, I have been working as a matchmaker for the last year, and it's really interesting because I think more than anything, the
Mhm,
overall theme that I am seeing is people want to connect. They want to connect. They want to feel important to someone. They want to feel, like they have someone to spend time with and do things with. I have a small kitten running around my office who is causing problems. So if I
okay.
disappear, it's his fault.
Right.
But I think people are wanting to connect, and um, I don't think we're taught how to do that outside of a larger structure of courtship and meeting through families. And if it doesn't happen by the time you're out of college or even out of high school, sometimes it is incredibly difficult. How to make friends, how to date, how to meet
Hmm.
people that are interested in the same things that you're interested in.
Yeah.
There are,
Yeah.
it's hard. And I
Yeah.
think the standards are also changing, which makes it difficult in
Hmm.
that what was required of men for a long time was that they make money.
Yeah.
There wasn't a whole lot required else. I need to
Hmm.
be a provider for my family.
Hmm.
That's it. That was the bar. The bar is a little bit larger
Hmm.
now in
Hmm.
that we want to be treated as humans and have an
Hmm.
equal partnership and have you participate at home and taking care of the children and
Hmm.
um all of these things. And I think that that can be really challenging when
Hmm.
like a typical gender stereotype is kind of flipped or changed to
Hmm.
where it's like, well, what do I do now? Like this
Yeah.
previous generations, it's not good enough.
Yeah.
What does
Yeah.
that look like?
And I will say, I think one of the things that's a little distressing to me when I think about it, it's not like I'm walking around thinking about it, but when I think about it, is um for a male to be a provider in my life,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like almost that he's coming in like above me, like that. Um, and if he can handle it, fine, but I have a lot of stuff in place. And so it feels like I know you don't want dating to ever feel like an interview, but it does feel like I'm thinking about, okay, can you handle all the things that I've been handling? Like, can you like can you manage? Like I didn't feel like if I put you in my life, I don't want you to crush under the pressure. And so and I think I kind of feel bad for some guys because it's like, yeah, you'd be a good guy, wonderful catch, but I don't know if you could provide what I need you to provide. And not that I'm asking you to provide like $1 million, but I need you to be able to handle everything at the level in which I'm handling it.
See,
Like,
and I want to give Taj a chance to talk, but like I have to respond to that. So like I
please
think that's
do.
the
Yeah.
issue. I think that's
Yeah.
the issue in that we don't need a provider. anymore. We can
Mm-hmm.
provide for ourselves. We are independent, smart, capable women. And that's what has shaken everything up in that
Mm-hmm.
I don't need you to provide. I need you to support me and be there for me and listen to me and sympathize. But you are something I want, not something I need. I do not need you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's, well, if I'm not needed, what do I do? How do
Yeah.
I don't understand not being needed and just being wanted. I don't understand what I'm supposed to do in that. And I think that that's a lot of the problem that comes in.
Wow. Okay, Tosh, jump in on whatever part you want to jump in
Ooh,
on.
child. Um, there's so many layers to why dating is currently a dumpster fire. And no, it's really bad,
Okay.
especially in Atlanta, Georgia. It is
Yeah.
a dumpster fire. Um, I mean, just look at how viral this whole, why the F did I get married series went. Have you two seen that?
I haven't seen it yet, but what is it on?
Okay. So it just to give a Cliff Notes, Spark Notes,
Okay.
this woman living in Atlanta, she met, dated, married, and divorced a man all within a year. And
Like, but just
the
like,
yeah,
yeah.
the roller coaster ride that she went on, it was so very familiar to me. Just being a ATLian, I'm an Atlanta native, and dating in Atlanta is really tough. And basically, she, fell in love with the pathological liar, and
Uh,
that's not uncommon.
it's
So
not,
okay, let me
which
let me
is
back up.
which is why you, Taj, and I'm pretty
Hmm.
sure Jessica, you do the same thing, is advised know the person a year.
Yes,
Like,
before
Statistically
you
speaking,
commit
someone can't
marriage.
hold up a lie that long. And
right.
so you want to see them through all of the seasons. You want
The
to see them through all of
season.
the holidays. You want to
Mm-hmm.
see them through all of the stressful times. Winter
Mm-hmm.
can be a stressful time for a lot of people because
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
darker.
Mm-hmm.
Mental health illnesses kind of can pop up more in the
Mm-hmm.
winter. And you don't want, oh, I have a summer perfect guy,
Right.
Right.
woman.
Yep.
It can
And then
be
you
for
commit
both.
to him, and then
Mhm.
but no, it's so many different things. It really depends on your social location, honestly. Like any type of dating advice that I would give, I need to know your demographic. I need to know what city you live in. I need to know what type of person that you are,
Mm-hmm.
what you're looking for. But essentially, after all of my research and books I read and, just working with clients, it really boils down to you as the individual having enough self esteem to date with integrity, to accept and reject what it is you do and don't want,
Mm-hmm.
right? To
Mm-hmm.
accept things that you don't want. And as soon as you receive something that you, accept things that you do want, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as you receive something that you don't want, reject it.
Mm-hmm.
And we run into a lot of issues when it gets into like, your self-worth being so low that you're accepting so much foolishness from a person, or you feel like you're not capable of finding love, you're not worthy of finding love, and so you accept love from these
Mm-hmm.
awful places. You accept love that's really not love at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we do that, we become hurt, we become jaded, and then
Mm-hmm.
our behavior changes because now we want to protect ourselves from ever being hurt again. And what we're finding now, oh my God, my brain is all over the place because it's so many things. It's just
Right.
so many things because what literally just popped into my head is like, we have these behaviors, but we have no playbook whatsoever. Like what Jessica just mentioned, like the old way of dating, completely gone, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And as a millennial, I can't go to my baby booming parents and ask them for dating advice because they have no
Right.
idea the
None
way they,
whatsoever.
none whatsoever, the way they dated and married, completely different from how I dated and
Yeah.
married. So I was
Yeah.
lost in the sauce the whole time, just
Yeah.
lost. And so we don't have a playbook. We're very confused on like roles and uh gender expressions
Yeah.
and it's a lot of confusion.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
much confusion.
I
All
also want
right.
to speak to Taj's demographics. So there's a fantastic website that I encourage you to go and check out. It's called lessthan1.com. And
Lessthan1.com.
it calculates the possibility of your soulmate, which is fantastic. So it's several questions. So you choose your nearest city, or you can put in your zip code if you want to do that, so that it'll have a population of your area. And then you put in whether or not you are interested in men, women, or both. Um, and then it asks for your age. And then it asks a series of questions of like, how much does looks matter to you? How much does it's important that you're challenged intellectually? Um, and then is it important that you and your partner share the same values? And so like I just put it in, and then how easy is it for you to click with someone? Um, and so I live in Buchanan, Georgia. I have 0.05 of a person.
0.05, like five
0.05, like
5% of a person.
5% of a person that.
Wow.
So I think it's really important to kind of look at that.
Yeah.
I would
Okay.
only recommend that to someone who has the self-esteem to receive that there's
Right.
only a 0.5%
Well,
chance.
and
Because
the thing is you can
right.
moderate your selections and like, okay, what if we don't share the same values? Or what if I clicked with someone easier? Or what if I didn't
Mm-hmm.
need to be intellectually challenged? Like what would that look like? How would that change things? And just realizing that this is what this means of this is why we go for online dating. This is why we need to get out of our
Mm,
comfort zone and out of our regular routines,
yeah.
especially if we live more in the suburbs or more rural area, because where I live is very rural.
Right.
And so, depending on what that looks like, that can be really, really challenging for people.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask the question. How do I know, as a person who's dating, if my standards are too high or too low? Because you hear things like, well, you need to have like standards, and you need to, like, don't date beneath you, and you won't be happy with that. And then you also hear like, you're too picky, like nobody's perfect, da, da, da. And so it's hard to know where the line is.
Mm-hmm.
Taj, do you want
Mm-hmm.
to speak to this first, or do you want me to go?
What's coming to my brain is like, I mean, that's a really tough question to answer because it's literally on a case by case basis.
Okay.
But you kind of have to find your middle ground with everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I've been asked that question in my dating coaching seminars and the consultations that I host afterwards, I usually follow it up with, well, what are your non-negotiables, right? And then I have them list 5
Mm-hmm.
non-negotiables, just 5 things that they will not tolerate in
Mm-hmm.
dating. And so, outside of those 5 things, open your heart to dating.
Mm-hmm.
Open your heart
Mm,
to it. And so, it keeps you from being shallow, from having like a list that's way too long. I want 6
mm-hmm.
foot. I want locks. I want this. I want, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It keeps you from making a list that's too extensive for
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
anybody to meet. It keeps you from making a list that's too small. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it keeps you focused on your foundational values, like the things that are really important to you. Like, is it so important that he's 6 feet tall, or is it more important that he values family? So that's usually how I address it. Like, let's make a list of 5, and
Mm-hmm.
anything outside of that, we keep
Mm-hmm.
an open mind to.
Mm-hmm.
So, because
Okay.
that's
Yeah,
tough.
yeah, absolutely. I would really encourage for those 5 things. If all of those 5 things are things that the person can't change about themselves, like
Mhm.
height, like even body type, incredibly challenging to change or to
Mm-hmm.
expect someone to change.
Mhm.
Um, if we're and really focusing on how does that person make me feel?
Mhm.
Does it
Yeah.
matter if they are shorter than me, or is that something that I need to work on building my confidence as a woman who is 5'9" to like, okay, there's some phenomenal men out there who are
Mm-hmm.
5'8", 5'7", five
Right.
six, and like, what is tripping me up
Mm-hmm.
for opening my heart to that when they do make me feel special. They are thoughtful and kind and supportive. They want to hear my problems, like, and that is what we're shooting for. And so really trying to boil it down to, how do they make you feel? If they make you feel
Mm-hmm.
good, um and kind of going back to the 8 rules of love, of the first date is just, do we have fun together? Does the
Yeah.
conversation flow?
Mm-hmm.
It's not, are we
Mm-hmm.
going to raise the kids Catholic, or are you okay relocating to New York? No, no, don't, no, don't do that. Like, you
Yeah.
don't have kids yet. You don't need to worry about the religion.
Right.
Like, oh, I
Mm-hmm.
get so irritated at that.
I have a
Um,
question.
yeah.
Um, I wanted to ask like what you both think about these dating shows like Love is Blind or Married at First Sight that kind of rush the process, you know? And I get the premise, which is like, okay, let's make commitment first. So we already are committed to the person and then we figure the things out later, which I get it. It has merit, you know, it has merit. But
Mm-hmm.
what do you guys think about that? Especially based off of what you just said, Jessica, like, you know, we just want to see if we get along first. These people are getting married before they even know each other's names.
Natalie, do you want to speak first, or do you want me to talk?
You talk, and then I'll
Okay.
come in because I have
So,
so many answers on that one.
yeah.
There's so many
So,
things.
first of all, I think it's one of those things that we need to be aware of the circumstances around that. I love the idea of that because I think you're connecting on things that are actually important versus
Mm,
a lot of the physical things that research shows can be
Gets in the way.
developed when you like their personality and you enjoy spending time with
mm-hmm.
them. The
Mm-hmm.
problem is it's science. It's Schrodinger's cat. Anything observed is changed by being observed. So
Oh
because it's on
yeah.
national television, because we're putting these timelines, because they're ultimately looking for a dramatic show that has people watching. I want to say there's actually a lawsuit against a lot of the people for Love and Blind, for the production, for like
Yeah.
labor law. There's a whole lot of things there. So I think if we were to take those principles of connecting outside of the physicality, there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of merit there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When we look at the production value and the rush timeline, I don't think it needs to be rushed. I think everything needs to slow down. You don't need to get intimate as fast. You need to really get to know this person, do a variety of dates, daytime, nighttime, middle of the day, outside, inside, doing different activities, seeing how this person interacts with their environment. How do they learn new things? How do they struggle with conflict? Being
Mm-hmm.
able to really evaluate, okay, what does this look like? Like, let's volunteer at a children's hospital. How are you with children? How are you with something which is very challenging and maybe emotionally heart wrenching? Like, what does this person look like in this environment? And do that
Yeah.
versus like, I'm gonna go on Love Is Blind.
I'm gonna go with
I think you hit
oh my
everything that I
god.
wanted to say, Jessica. But it's so funny.
Yes.
I've never seen Love is Blind. But I just had lunch last week. Yeah, it must have been last week with one of my best friends, and she was like, "You've got to watch the show. It's amazing, and you'll love it as a
Yeah.
clinician." And that's the whole reason why we
Yeah.
play Netflix. And I was like, "Okay, okay, calm down. I'll try to watch the show." But like, yeah, she's like, "You don't
Yes.
understand." And so, I think it's still a new a testament. Like, so we have a meetup group, a meetup, and the name of the group was what, Dating
Dating
101
101.
Masterclass, and
Mm-hmm.
it
Mm-hmm.
has like 850 people in it now. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think that group has astounded me, um, that how fast it's grown, that it's continues to grow, and it tells me how many people are looking for love in relationships. Like how
Yes.
many people are feeling like I have a person out there and I haven't found them yet. I have a person out there. And so I will say there is no one right way to find love. Um, we do think that there are some best practices.
Mm-hmm.
Like, please don't meet to marry and divorce within the year. Like, we could slow that down and save you some heartache. I'll be the first to say there's no one way. There's no one way.
Yeah.
I've had clients who dated for 10 years and got divorced in 10 seconds. I've had clients who it was love at first sight, and now 50 years later, they're still in love and they just need to work on some communication issues in retirement because I thought we'd be doing this in retirement, and clearly that's not what you're up for. Um,
Mhm.
and so there's no one right way. Um, and I think look at culture. Like a lot of times I'll talk to my clients about biblical time dating versus current dating. And in biblical time dating, the marriage was arranged. So you
Mhm.
married the person, then you had sex with the person, then you got to know the person possibly. And so in some cultures, because in a heterosexual relationship, the males were up here and the females were down here, there was no really expectation that we would get to know each other or hang out or do anything because
Or that you even needed
women
to like each other.
or that we needed to
Right.
like each other. And so I will say one of the things I think for people to realize is that this whole my partner should be everything is a newer concept, and it's a newer concept for marriage in general. If you look at
Mhm.
like marriage across the lifetime of humanity, this idea that I'm supposed to like just love one person totally, completely unconditional, and they're supposed to be my everything, that's a newer concept, and that's a lot
That's a
for one person to
lie.
do.
And please don't do that to your partner. Like
Please
don't
don't.
put that on your partner. Have
Mm-hmm.
friends, have important relationships. There are other ways to
Mm-hmm.
get your needs met, even if you
Yeah.
don't go poly. And poly is a potential relationship
Mm-hmm.
path. If
Yeah.
you are if you are somebody that is a very low sex drive, but you want a romantic and they have sexual needs, like there's a way to like uber communication, like
Yeah.
communication in a monogamous relationship, like times three, but
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
like there are options now. And I think
Mm-hmm.
almost the options are causing some paralysis.
Yeah,
Say
absolutely.
say more on that because people have so many options. You think they're not making
Well,
choices, or
statistically, for dating apps, it's the idea that the perfect soulmate is out there. So all of the options means
mm-hmm.
I'm actually less successful versus when we think
Yeah.
of dating in the 50s or 60s, where you were literally reduced to your town.
Yeah.
They had to be a particular age, they had to be local, you had to run across them in your normal path. Whereas now the world is our oyster. Yeah, Taj.
Yeah.
And just to piggyback off of what you just said, these apps are also giving a level of instant gratification that is a bit toxic and hurtful to us because it waters down the desire to make it work or to work through it. I should
Mm-hmm.
say to work through it as opposed to making it work. Because I don't want anybody forcing a relationship to work. But relationships are indeed work. So
Mm-hmm.
like I just remember when I was in the dating pool, like the first time you do something that the other person doesn't like, it's like I didn't forget you. You know what I'm saying? It's just
Mm-hmm.
like I can drop you and go on this app and find somebody else very quickly. I've also seen a lot of women, especially in my city, having that mentality of, I can get it myself, I could do this myself. So you're only here to serve me. And as long as, and the moment you stop doing that, bye, and then I can go and find somebody else just as quickly. And so it's a dumpster fire.
Well, and the antiquated rules of like, I need to be texted first as a woman versus initiating text. I was like, double text. If you want to talk to your person, talk to your person. If you want a certain level of communication, you have to communicate that. You
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
just expect them to mind read that I want a good morning text every morning because that's what makes me feel loved. Honestly, I personally wouldn't because that would get a little annoying. But like, I want to
Mm-hmm.
know you're alive during the day. Like, let me
Mm-hmm.
know. But,
Mm-hmm.
I don't need a particular format at a particular time. Certain women do, certain men do.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we
And then
might
you
need to
have
run
to
a class.
move accordingly.
Yeah.
Like if
Yeah.
you like a good morning text, this man isn't good morning texting you, then don't beg him to good morning text you. you know, just simply be like, I don't think this is going to work out. You know,
Or
I've
once you've
I've
stated their
expressed,
communication needs and someone is incapable of meeting that,
Mhm.
yes,
how integral is that to your relationship? Because there may be other
yes,
things where they are fulfilling things in a way that you didn't expect.
Ooh, that's
yes,
yes, yes.
yes. So keeping
Okay.
your values at the
Yeah.
forefront and communicating your needs and then responding accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Wow.
I think we almost probably need to run a class on that. With so what would that be? How to communicate during the dating process, or because I think the bigger thing is understanding that in the South we have this saying, common sense ain't common. And so I feel like we should like apply that to dating, because what you're thinking is common and should be happening, the person has no clue. And so like
Mm-hmm.
the good
Right.
morning text. So you're thinking if they like me, they should be texting me every morning, good morning. If they don't know that, they've never come across that, how would
They've
they
never done
know? And
that.
now you're mad and you're breaking up with them and they had no clue. And so it
Or
should
they're
be
Mhm.
working
some,
on patterns that were successful in their last relationship. This is
yes,
what made my previous partner happy. I don't
yes,
know anything else, so I'm going to keep doing this until I'm told otherwise, but I'm not ever
right,
told.
right.
Mhm.
And so I don't know. I want to call it
Dating
common
I
sense
think
ain't
communication?
common.
it's I think it's dating with integrity. I
Oh,
mean, like
you
full
cover these things in
scope
dating
of
and
it.
integrity and communication.
A, a little bit, but I think if, you know,
I feel like
we
this is
do
a
it
whole day
together.
workshop. Like this is intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because first you have to understand your needs, your wants, your values before you can communicate them. So you got to understand them within yourself first, then learn the language to communicate them to a partner, and then have the self-esteem and the self-worth to be able to accept and
Yeah.
reject whatever
Yeah.
that partner responds to you with. So it's like three layers to communication. You know what I'm saying? So like
Yeah.
if I don't know exactly what I want to deal with, I can't
Hmm.
communicate it, or you'll communicate the wrong thing.
Right.
So it
Mm-hmm.
kind
Yeah.
of goes, yeah,
Oh, that's so big. Okay, we got to go. This is amazing. Thank you guys. All right, y'all have a wonderful
so
day.
much.
All right,
Have a
bye.
good day.